Sandy, and this is a short video on how to set up a NEOS program. First thing to do is log on to your MyNE account, and depending on your level of access, your dashboard may look different than what this is. The most important part, though, is that you have a NEOS menu function in the menu items. Click on NEOS, and you will see the primary NEOS screen. Gives you a description at a high level what NEOS is about. You will click on Start a NEOS Assessment. Before we go there, I just want to point out that on this little tab, you can access the NEOS User Guide, which has a very detailed description of how NEOS was developed, how it was validated, how you can generate reports, how you can interpret reports. With that said, let's start a NEOS assessment. Right now, I just click on this button. This is your Create a Program screen. First thing to do is name your program. I invite you to put a program that your participants will recognize. This program name will actually be included in an email notification by MyNE to ask your participants to complete the assessment. For this example, my program is going to be Compassionate Accountability Advanced Skills Workshop. By the way, on the screen, it describes what the program is, and it gives you step-by-step instructions on how to create it. So I click put in the name, I create the program. Now I am in the detail program function. We call them assessment sets. Notice that on the screen, it gives you all the details on how to generate the assessment set. So let's just follow those instructions by clicking NEOS. I click on NEOS, I will give a name of the NEOS assessment. As a side note, as you probably notice, based on reading the user guide, NEOS will work with a pre and post assessment. So you have to set up two assessments for NEOS to calculate the results. So the first assessment, I always do this. I always put pre-NEOS, and I complete the name with the actual workshop name, Compassion, Accountability, Advanced Skills Workshop. I like to cheat, so I'm going to copy this. So when I set up the post NEOS, I don't have to type everything. Notes is a function. Is a field only for your personal use. What you put on the notes does not get reflected or sent on any emails to your participants. The thing about NEOS is we want to measure the pre-NEOS. We want to take a measurement as soon as possible prior to our program starts. So a little work before we get through this is first we need to know when the program is actually going to take place. For the purposes of this exercise, my program will start December 11th through December 13th. So I want to take the pre-NEOS prior to the program starts. Because my program is going to start December 11th, I am going to start this pre-assessment, open this assessment for the participants to take a week earlier. And I always put in start time at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's really up to you what start time you want. By the way, the MyNE system automatically calculates different time zones. So I want to close the pre-NEOS on the day that my program starts. And I like to do this and close it at lunchtime. My programs always start at 8 o'clock. They're 8 to 5. So I like to leave the window open for the pre-NEOS in case we have some participants that come to the training that have not completed the NEOS. So the first thing I do when I start a program, I'll ask, have they completed the NEOS assessment? If they haven't, we'll take 5 minutes and we'll get them to get into MyNE using their telephones or their mobile device. And it'll take them 5 minutes and move on. This is a great way to get 100% compliance, 100% feedback on the assessment. The user guide will explain context. I am going, for the purpose of this program example, I am going to highlight all three contexts, and I'm going to add this assessment. The pre-assessment is done. Now, because I mentioned that we have to have a pre and post, at least a pre and post, depending on the length of a program. You might want to take NEOS assessments 5 times if this program is going to last a year, as an example. But for this example, I'm going to do just a before class and an after class. So I'll just click on Add Another Set. And first thing that I do is click on the NEOS tab, and I'm going to give it a name. Because I cheated, I just copied and pasted, and I changed the name from pre to post. So Post NEOS Compassion Accountability Advanced Skills Workshop. The workshop, as I mentioned, is going to be over December 13th. So what I like to do, pretty similar to the pre, I like to open the post NEOS assessment on the day of the program. And I normally add it, the assessment, keep it open for availability either at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, depending on when my program is going to be over. So I'll start time at 2, and I will give time for people. If people don't choose to complete the post NEOS in session, which I'll invite them to do if we have time, I will give them time. I will give them plenty of time to complete the NEOS afterwards. Program will be over the 13th, so I will close the NEOS assessment on the 20th. I'll close at 5 p.m. It's really up to you what you want to do on closing those. And adding assessment set. Please note that you cannot change the context. It's pre and post. Whatever context you set up in the pre-assessment will get carried over to the second assessment. Now, I've generated a program for the NEOS assessment. There is a separate video that will teach you how to add participants and activate the program so you can collect the data. For now, that's it. Thank you.